Presentation is based on the decision of the Turkish competition. First, we are going to introduce you the case, then talk about theory behind it, and mention some relevant cases. First, the parties. First party is Bayer. Bayer is a German company and one of the world's giant pharmaceutical companies. It was founded in 1863 as an aspirin-producing company. It has three subsections as pharmaceuticals, consumer health, and crop science. In Turkey, Bayer has products in vegetable seeds, pesticides, insecticides, and fungicides markets. Monsanto was founded in 1901 in the USA. Monsanto was one of the four groups to introduce genes into plants in 1983. It was one of the top 10 US chemical companies until it divested most of its chemical businesses. In Turkey, Monsanto has several vegetable seeds under the brands Semines, De Reuter, and Dicap. It also had share in the herbicides market in Turkey. In the decision, it is stated that the relevant product markets are determined as follows: vegetable seeds market, cotton seeds market, and herbicides markets are evaluated under the horizontal category. It is stated that each vegetable seed listed here is considered as a separate market. Insecticides for corn seeds are stated to be the upstream of the vertical market, and corn seeds are stated as the downstream. The relevant geographic market is Turkey, since there was no need to specify regional markets.
As many of the cases, we can talk about a three-step process. According to Act No. 4054 and Article 7, it is prohibited for one or more undertakings to merge, or for an undertaking to acquire assets or partnership shares, where such a merge or acquisition would result in a significant lessening of effective competition within a market for goods or services in the country, particularly in the form of creating or strengthening a dominant position. Therefore, since Monsanto and Bayer are significant players in the crop science market, they have to apply the competition authority and take permission before merging. Firstly, the aforesaid companies, Monsanto and Bayer, made a request to the board in 2nd February of 2017 for Bayer to be the only controller on Monsanto's activities by taking over Monsanto's shares. After the completion of the necessary documents, the board requested information from 9 institutions in the market and the related department from the Ministry of Food, Agriculture and Livestock. Then, the board completed their preliminary report and decided to finalize the case examination. During the final examination, the board requested again information from the merging companies and 78 others from the related markets. So how did the board assess all this information? In the horizontal market, they examined 3 products: vegetable seeds, herbicides, and cotton seeds. In vegetable seeds markets, competition authority decides that in the melon, spinach, and carrot markets, there was no big change and their merged market value will not decrease competition in the market. In 2016, Monsanto did not sell in onion and lettuce seeds, and Bayer didn't sell bean seeds. However, in other seeds market, competition authority need to make an investigation. According to traditional rules used by competition authority, if total market share is more than 40% after merger, this merger is seen as a danger for competition in market. Therefore, since cucumber seeds are below this threshold and pea seeds are about 40%, they are also allowed. However, in tomatoes, watermelon, and pumpkin seeds markets, competition authority decided that merger will harm competition. Since Bayer commits to that regardless of merger, market value below or above 40%, it will sell all of its shares to BASF to European Union Competition Authority, Turkish Competition Authority also permit the merger. In herbicides markets, there are two types of herbicides: general herbicides, which kill all types of plants, and special herbicides, which kill only harmful herbicides. Since Monsanto is only in the general herbicides and Bayer is only in the special herbicides, Competition Authority also didn't see any negative potential outcome after merger. In cotton seeds, because of the increase in prices of cotton seeds above inflation, Competition Authority did not allow merger in this market. However, since Bayer commits to quit from cotton seeds market totally by selling its shares to BASF in the case of European Union Competition Commission, Turkish Competition Authority also approved in the cotton seeds market.
As vertical overlapping market, they examined corn seeds market and insecticides for corn seeds market. Corn seeds market is downstream market and insecticides for corn seeds is upstream market. Monsanto is leader in corn seed market and Bayer is leader in insecticides for corn seeds market. According to competition authority, such merger may damage competition in market. In corn seed market, there are a few players other than Monsanto, and in insecticides market, another firm, Syngenta, also produce a substitutable insecticide. Furthermore, Syngenta both produce insecticide and corn seeds. However, Bayer also sell its products in this market to BASF, even though competition authority can see enough competitors in the market. Actually, BASF bought all probable problematic sectors, and thanks to the BASF, Monsanto and Bayer could merge. In 2018, the board concluded that in vegetable seeds, cotton seeds, corn seeds, and corn insecticides market, commitments approved by the European Commission allows the elimination of horizontal and vertical overlaps in these markets. So market is not subject to reducement of competition, and it is not likely to create a dominant position in the market by merging. When we consider models we learned in our lectures, we can try to make comments on the Bayer and Monsanto merger as follows. With Bayer's transfer of its shares in the vegetable and cotton seed market to BASF, we observe an example of structural remedy. Therefore, even though we call it as merger in terms of law, explaining with Kurno model or price competition model may be tricky because number of firms in the market didn't change. Furthermore, it seems competition level and concentration in the market also remain same. Competitive externalities between Monsanto and Bayer was internalized, but in new circumstances, BASF carried the role of Bayer in the previous case. Furthermore, exploiting the synergies may not be a good explanation because Bayer sell all of its shares to BASF in the overlapping markets. Therefore, it also loses its experience in the market. We cannot see the costs and market shares of firms because of the confidential information. However, the motivation behind of Bayer and Monsanto to merge may be due to efficiency gain. In other words, if Monsanto has lower marginal cost, Bayer shut down its plants by selling to BASF, and both firms tried to increase their profits. However, we cannot talk about an increase in consumer surplus and welfare due to takeover. When we look at the report, Competition Authority mentions about that there may be increase in likelihood of tacit collusion and increase in prices after merger. However, Competition Authority permits merger by taking into consideration the fact that structural remedies will eliminate negative outcomes of unilateral effects and coordinated effects, and there will be no change in the concentration of the market.
When it comes to hybrid corn seed business and insecticides produced for these seeds, we observe that the activities of the two merging firms overlap each other in a vertical manner. As the upstream firm, Bayer is a global supplier of insecticides, and on the other hand, as downstream firm, Monsanto is a producer of hybrid corn seeds in the market. When it comes to application of insecticides in the corn seed business, it is observed that for the final customers, it is more convenient to buy corn seeds that are already insecticided by the producer in a more professional and effective way, rather than purchasing the insecticide as a separate product. In that sense, the merger creates synergies between the two firms such that the merged company has the advantage to produce insecticide corn seeds in an efficient way. However, since Bayer and Monsanto have dominant positions in their respective businesses, there is a concern that Bayer can use its dominant position to increase the input prices for the downstream firms and hence manipulate the market dynamics for the benefit of merged firm. In order to investigate this claim, Competition Authority arranged a field research and looked for alternatives for the Bayer's most demanded insecticide product called Poncho. After analyzing upstream firms, Competition Authority concluded that Syngenta's product called Fortanza Duo is an alternative for Bayer's Poncho and can be preferred by farmers in case Bayer raises the prices for its insecticide products. Also, in its commitments given to European Commission, Bayer is committed to divest its insecticide business, including Poncho. Considering this, since this commitment removes the vertical overlaps between Bayer and Monsanto, Competition Authority concluded that the merger doesn't pose a threat for competition and social welfare for the hybrid corn seed market. There are some merger cases that resembles our case between Bayer and Monsanto. In 2015, DuPont announced a merger with the Dow Chemical Company, forming the biggest chemical conglomerate in the world with an estimated value of $130 billion. Dow and DuPont agreed on certain divestitures in their business structures in order to receive the approval of competition authorities. DuPont is committed to divest its pesticide business and almost all of its related global R&D. On the other hand, Dow is committed to divest some of its petrochemical products. In 2017, the merger is cleared by European Commission, and less than 2 years after, the company pursued a separation into 3 independent companies focusing on different business areas, such that Corteva AgriScience for agriculture business, Dow for material science segment, and DuPont for specialty products.
ChemChina is a Chinese chemical production company, and Syngenta is a Swiss seed and pesticide company. In February 2016, parties agreed on acquisition of Syngenta by ChemChina at the cost of $43 billion, and it was the largest ever foreign purchase by a Chinese company. Committee on Foreign Investment in US and European government panels cited their food safety and security concerns. In August 2016, Committee on Foreign Investment in US approved by requiring to sell subsidiary company of ChemChina, which is Adama, which produces agricultural pesticides, to Sanondo. In December 2016, Australian Competition Commission approved the deal. In April 2017, EU Commission and Federal Trade Commission approved by requiring ChemChina to quit from pesticide market and repeat commitments for Adama. In May 2017, deal was completed.
Bayer has more than 15 acquisitions since 1978. In the over-the-counter drugs market, meaning drugs can be bought without prescription, Bayer purchased Sterling, Roche, and Sagmal Incorporation. In animal health market, Bayer bought Bomac Group. In 2014, it bought Merck's consumer health business. In the female healthcare business, Bayer purchased Candy. Monsanto also had a considerably long acquisition history. From 1901 to 2000s, the companies they bought as DeKalb, Pharmacia and Upjohn, American Viscose, and so on, were mainly focused on chemicals. After 2000, they moved into the seed market. The pre-2000 Monsanto, called Pharmacia Corporation, was acquired by Pfizer in 2002. Post-2000 Monsanto, after 16 years, was sold to Bayer.